Heru with quote unquote Jesus, which he says has no historical context. You know what I'm saying? And I'm approaching it once again, even from the space of an imaginarium.
Right,
You
right.
know, I know people to draw power from that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like for real, for real. I know people
Mm-hmm.
that slay demons with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you can use it. It's an energy vector. Blood has been spilled for it. It has a form and a shape. I did whole lectures explaining to people what the shape was. The number it is 444. You can't change that. Look, and the shit popped up on the screen at the same time that I said it. Shout out.
Ain't that that's funny, right?
Yeah,
It popped up a millisecond before you said 444. The
yeah.
universe is
So,
hilarious, yeah, I
you
swear.
know, and again, those are just the confirmations. Those are the small things that you look for. You know, it's not the devil in the detail, it's the divine in the detail. The devil gets exposed in the details. You find out in the details that the devil is just the most high inside out, folks.
No, indeed, indeed. Do you think the OJ thing? You know, Bobby Hemming used to talk about the OJ case and how it had spiritual significance. Now, since OJ passed away right after the eclipse, you know, it makes you think about the whole black white thing. The eclipse make you think about the whole black white
Yes.
thing. What spiritual significance does OJ passing after the eclipse may have? If you could go into your
Well,
Bobby Hemmett bag real quick.
again, if I was to look at this and I
There
was
you
being
go.
consistent with my observations, because my high level observations, I ain't never missed one word. I got almost like I got in front of the people and I got bucket naked with my theories in my mind. And I said, look, the way that I measure time is through an astrological lens. So if I
Indeed.
can't explain it through astrology to me, I can't spin the wheel. It's outside of the focus of the peripheral of how I give it to you. You understand me?
Yellow,
So I
right?
would say that in the season of Aries, that's the season of the ram. Y'all all right? And then what we saw with OJ representing the Bronco, and I
The
just gave
Ram.
y'all the whole breakdown about the horseman leading to the season of the cow, which is Taurus, which we at right now. And I've been telling you about the red heifer for a minute. Okay. Now here we go. We in Taurus. The second that we in Taurus, you seen them kick off dust. The Bitcoin halving is today. I said Taurus is when they're gonna go on a bull run because Taurus represents banking institutions, cryptocurrency, earth minerals, and resources. So every time we go into Taurus, especially going into the full moon, which is on April 23rd, which will be on Tuesday, my Umi's born day. Uh, peace, love, and light, and I love you, Mama Pill.
Oh, Mama Pill, happy birthday. Yeah, KT had told me.
Yeah,
Right, right, right,
born day
right,
will be on this full moon, the day
right.
after Passover. You know, where we see that there's been permits that have been taken out with the temple police over there for them to carry out this offering of the red heifer. They have already put plans in motion, and you know, yes, there's so much that's going on, and I just want y'all to stay focused and understand that this shit don't necessarily just pay the rent, but at the same time you need to be aware because it's geopolitical news, and these the niggas you got to pay rent to. You understand me? So if they got to go and bunker, maybe you can get a few months.
Yo, Bobby would say, see, the key is,
See, the key is
the key
you just got to
is.
stick around long enough before they got to go in that bunker. You see, the key is you just got to hold on. Just hold on to it. I'm going to show you how to take possession of it because they got squatter rights right now. The key is.
Shout out to Bobby Hemmett, man. Oh, that's my brother right there. Shout out to Bobby Hemmett. The one, the one and only Bobby Hemmett. Indeed, indeed. Yeah, once again, definitely, y'all. Everybody give a happy birthday to Mama Pill. Make sure y'all definitely give
Again, I
a
said that's April 23rd, y'all. It's not
April
tonight.
23rd. Okay, April 23rd.
We
Okay.
definitely reserve that for Mama. She got one coming up, you know what I'm saying, on the full moon.
Right, right. Oh man, beautiful,
Full
beautiful.
moon as well. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, there's a lot going on, like I said, in the world. We could talk about it through the lens of hip hop. We could speak about it occult. We could speak about it astrologically, esoteric, geopolitically, you name it. You tell me what's the safest way that you want to approach it. And
Yeah, well, indeed, I kind of, with the whole J. Cole thing and the whole hip hop thing, it kind of, it's been like a civil war going on in the hip hop realm. One of the most influential coaches all over the globe, very important culture. Can't sleep on hip hop family. With J. Cole apologizing, let's start. I want to ask you a question about moving forward as a man, just as a stand-up kind of a person. The idea of apologizing. I was listening to your brother, your partner, business partner Keys earlier, and he was I was listening. He did a show with Amici, and I seen it on YouTube. That's the name of Amici.
Amici, yes.
Amici, yeah. Shout out to Amici, good brother.
Amici, yes.
And they was talking about the whole idea of apologizing.
Right.
Moving forward, if we are to be who we're supposed to be, Bloom, a lot of people are proud of J. Cole for apologizing. Some people are saying he shouldn't have apologized. The idea of apologizing as a man and as an adult and as a God, Blue, I look at it two ways, Blue. It could be a form of weakness. I remember when I seen Obama apologize to a police officer, and he was the president of the United States.
Got
I
him a
said, that
beard,
nigga weak.
right? Yeah.
I said, that nigga's weak. You apologizing to a cop and you the president? You would have never seen a white
You the
president.
commander in chief. You the commander of the military.
Yeah.
You genuflecting to a police who got
So
dirt.
I'm not Blue. I'm not pro apologize all the time. Oh, you apologize. But I can see why J. Cole apologized. But just in terms of apologizing and in terms of it's sitting right with your spirit or not sitting right with your spirit, what J. Cole did. What's your thoughts on what J. Cole did and just the idea of apologizing for things?
Again, if you take away the faculty from men to be apologetic or to atone, right, or to come to an understanding or to be diplomatic, then you're only relegating men to be warriors and you know what I'm saying, Clash of the Titans. You only here for the blood. And he said that's what he said. He's like, yo, I feel it like people is only here for the blood. And I keep telling you in every season what my hashtag is. I don't want to keep repeating it, but it's consistent. And I ain't failed you yet, right? I got all of these backdrop stories to just show hashtag. There will be, I did a whole lecture showing how they was calling for it with Trump the same, because he was talking about bloodbath. You know what I'm saying? And all of this every season talking about blood, you know what I mean? All the way down to the Kansas City parade with the 44-year-old lady that got taken out. All of this ritualistic of blood. Kansas is the heartland of America. It won the Super Bowl in Vegas. The Vegas nerve is dealing with, with a flowing of that electric energy goes through the body to calm down the parasympathetic nervous system. So yeah, there's just so much going on. There's so much tension. There's so much tension on the heart, on the blood. The country is suffering things dealing with heart issues and conditions. People's hearts are stopping, you know what I'm saying, and skipping, and they, all of that other stuff that I'm not gonna mention by name, but you guys, how it's impacting that heart center. So yes, the empire is under attack. The heart is under attack. You feel me? And that's what you seen visually. You seen Statue of Liberty is a copper edifice. Copper deals with the planet Venus. You know what I'm saying? That color green deals with heart energy. And they struck her in the torch. You feel me? On the left hand side where the heart is at. So, it's things that we're seeing right in front of our face, and people are in denial. They're attempting to attribute it to conspiracy or man himself. And I'm like, yo, this is the great divine speaking through sign, all in front of us, all in our face. Post eclipse, things have been, yes, they've been very vivid. They've been very active. They've been very cut to the chase. Like yo, you either accepting what you bearing witness to, you know what I'm saying? Did you burn your eyes out? Y'all stood there and watched the sun and was looking at the sky, but you want to ignore the stuff in front of your face every day. Come on,
Mm.
son.
Yeah, this individual
So
Love Moves said, son, go ahead, Blue. You
yeah,
still talking? Go
so
ahead. Go ahead.
so J. Cole, operated an aspect there again. That weekend was the tripartite aspect of what the Christos represents, right? Christ represents Jesus, and Christ represents the Christos, and then there's a synthesis between them two, is the Jesus, the Christ. So the Jesus is material, the Christos is purely spiritual, and the Jesus of the Christ is the enlightened aspect of the synthesis between both of them, who achieves Christ consciousness through turmoil and challenges and things of that nature. So Drake calls himself the sixth god. He's materialism. He's a Scorpio. He will be at the lowest spectrum and end of this particular equation, that boom specifically for how he identifies himself, but energetically based on what his signature is. But we live in a topsy-turvy aspect of this world where he is coming on the lower spectrum of the energy, but he's at the higher realms of the game, or so that's what they're battling to see, right? They're battling for this airspace to see who has the wand, who's really the wizard, who has the influence over the people. So the person that comes in with influence, the mercurial aspects of communication, Kendrick, the Gemini, right? He's somewhere in between materialism and spirituality, right? He's taste success. You feel me? He hasn't necessarily jumped off the ledge and splurged and given in to the compulsions of desires. Like, yeah, nigga, spend $1 million. This is the shit he talks about in his songs. He hasn't given into the compulsions of temptation of flesh. He's talked about it in his song, right? He is the Gemini. He's balancing out both of these energies and these worlds at all times, struggling also while giving you testaments that are, you know, snapshots of his life, real time updates about the shit that he's going to fight in dark and light. And the things that have probably been offered to him to give him the coveted crown for them to co-sign it or sign it off and be like, yeah, he's the one. We're not understanding the pressure that he must go up against to never be considered by the industry the standard, because he can't be, especially when he's up against the amalgamated version of what they would prefer as the ideal, quote unquote, Pider Piper, right? Especially someone who shares their sensibilities is not going to tell people, yo, free Palestine. And that's what we. And then you have J. Cole, who's more spiritual than material, you know what I'm saying? And somewhere tinkering in the middle, but more so leaning towards spirituality. It appears as if he really just wanted the title of the throne on some hip hop shit. But he don't understand that this goes back to the dirt. This goes back to where people are from and where they rep and represent. Some of these artists can't go back home if they catch a L and lose to a singing ass nigga, right? Their lives literally be on the line. They'll be food. It's a different dynamic, you know what I'm saying, for what an L looks like for some of these people to take a L. But Kendrick, or Cole for that matter, if you look at any person that has the anagram of JC, that's a anagram for Christos energy. And J. Cole is a JC Christos energy, right? He's just the peacenik version of the Christ energy, not the warrior version of the Christ energy that got the thorns on their head and is willing to go, you know what I'm saying, all the way red, like a Kendrick is, channeling the aspects of his Hebrew Israelite ancestry, legacy, 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 right? I will chip one of these niggas up. He understand that he's invoking that warrior energy of the Judah people as opposed to the other strand. That's what I see.
Right, right, right. Just curious, who do you feel as though is coming out on top in this battle from a hip
Um,
hop fan's perspective, not spiritually, but
Again, yeah.
just as a hip hop
Uh,
fan?
the,
Who
the
do
the
you?
the purists, the purists are definitely still sticking with Kendrick. You know, they said that his verse was adequate enough that he doesn't necessarily need to respond right now, because the response that it garnered wasn't worthy of a response. So there's purists that are sitting on that. I don't agree with that necessarily, but once again, it's an observation from a fan from a far distance. If nothing else, again, J. Cole showed you that you got to make sacrifices to remind the world who's in control of your voice. And he took his voice back. And I want to commend him for that first and foremost. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
indeed, yeah.
Because it took a lot of courage for him to say, look, yeah, I'm not with the program or whatever the program has for me, and it don't sit right with my spirit, so I can't lend my voice to it, right? I can't live in my body comfortably if I'm doing something that compromises my spirit. In the backdrop of his admonishment, he nailed himself to the cross, right? He's the nigga that goes in front of the courthouse and puts himself on fire just for just for fucking around and trying, right? He's that much of a sacrificial god, like that version of the Christos. So, you know, yeah, man,
You didn't tell me, who do you think though, Blue? I want to know as a from your perspective as a hip hop fan, who do you think came out on top? Like, don't duck the question now, Blue.
yeah,
Come
from my
on, Blue.
perspective, from what I'm looking at and the way that I'm viewing it, I'm
As
still
a as
with
a
Kendrick.
fan,
Yeah, I'm
you got it?
still, I still
Yeah,
think that I think Kendrick was Kung Fu Kendrick on that verse,
I
and he
agree.
kicked a lot of
Yes.
dust up. And I think that, Drake did not drill home the
No.
specific intention to say, I'm gonna wash you. So he chipped back at him, but it's not like he sparred and left him bloody. He was fighting too many asymmetrical fights simultaneously, and he is not focused on one, on really squaring up with Kung Fu Kendrick. And yeah, and I I want to be led to believe that lyrically he can respond and answer, but I'm also mindful to tell people the styles win wars. And what I noticed about Drake, that strategically he made a song that you could bump in the club, he made a song that you could work out to, and he made a song that women actually like. You know what I'm saying? And you know, if he's mastered the art of the bop, how to make a bop, it's gonna be a danger zone. You know what I'm saying? If Kendrick try to come back and he's just technical rap and he does not understand what it means to appeal to a larger aspect of the zeitgeist, that can be like, was this even worth our time? When it's once again really just stirring the waters of aggression, not just in hip hop. Our minds is what permeates through the universe and creates the ripples and the waves of all things. We are cooking the ionosphere, almost like how you might turn the oven up and you see the coils get red.
Right.
Yeah, that's what the atmosphere of beef has been since January, pause, since Cat Williams set it off, right? And
Yeah.
came into the temple and turned the table upside down for the money changers. And we've
Mm-hmm.
been seeing it take place in every industry in its own iteration and version of it. And we again, I don't see no separation with things, right? Everything has to connect. So all of these incidents are connected to one another, and it's just cleaning house energy.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, that's what I forgot who I was talking to the other day. Do you see, if this is an effect from the energy that's present out there, what we see going on in hip hop and what we see going on in different industries? Why do you think the female artists haven't responded the same to these energies as the male artists have responded?
Yo, these female artists are beefing. Like,
They beefing right now since the
yeah,
clip, or before, you mean?
before,
Okay.
I mean, Glow, JT. If anything, if you really looking for it, you can see it through the women more so than anything, because
Mm,
they the ones to be chipping, especially during these astrological alignments. But definitely before, during, and after the eclipse, it was the women that was on social media going buck wild. The City Girls was at
Mm.
it, and they was going at it with Glorilla, and Lotto's going at it at one. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
a lot of activity with them. Even in the reggae world, they had a whole battle in the reggae world between two women that eclipsed all of this shit because
Wow.
they was making music. They was making whole songs and tracks and coming back to back to back.
Mm.
And again, the quote unquote fan and the listener benefited because they like, oh, this is when y'all made some of the best music of your career,
Right. Right.
and it really spurns a swelling of creativity in the marketplace that people really want to get involved in. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Everybody really want to get outside and catch that lick for the summer.
Right.
So
What
music is an exciting place.
what you talk mentioned astrology